You've reached Conversation with Mr. A. This is your host, Anthony Apostilla. Thank you for listening. Let's get right to the episode. Yep. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Conversations with Mr. A. This is your host, Anthony Abastilla. And for this episode, I have Adrian Garcia, who I interviewed back in episode 10. It was almost, back May of 2023. Adrian, you were a junior in Chimicum, and now you are in the military. Adrian, thank you for being willing to come back and do another episode.
Yeah, of course.
So, Adrian, if you can kind of fill in the timeline a bit, just like I said, last time we did an interview was back episode 10. It was May of 2023. A lot's happened since that time to now.
Oh, yeah. So, military is something, I've thought about for a long time, Um, I ended up talking to a recruiter around May. I enlisted, got all the paperwork filled out, and then, it was a year of, just working out, trying to get ready for boot camp. Senior year was pretty fun. Did a lot, and then got through senior year, went by insanely fast, actually. I graduate, and I go to MEPS the next day. MEPS, for those that don't know, is a military interest processing station. Basically, it's like a giant medical process that we have to follow through with. They check all your medical records, stuff like that, make sure you're good to go. Yeah, and then so I was at MEPS, and then they gave me my plane ticket, and I flew down to San Diego the next day. So the 24th of June is when I got there.
Now, I'm assuming you also had to take the ASVAB test, correct?
I did.
Can you, for our listeners, can you kind of briefly explain to them what the ASVAB test is?
So the ASVAB is pretty much it's a test to see what areas you're good in. So they have math, reading, language, mechanical, auto and shop. Those are some of the categories. It could be a few more that I'm leaving out, but so depending on how high you score is how they determine how well you'll do. And so the minimum score you need is a 31. I got a 70, so I was able to select from a pretty high range of jobs that I wanted to do.
Congratulations. Congrats, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. So I ended up going with aircrew, which is basically it's kind of like recon, but you're flying. We have to go through it's called NACIS, Naval Aircrew Candidate School. So yeah, it's a really long process, but it'll be fun.
Question I was gonna ask is, okay, what branch of the military are you currently in? You're kind of doing right now.
I'm in the Marine Corps.
Marine Corps. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm on a 5-year contract.
Okay. Question I have is, so you said June, right? Specifically June this year. You flew. How was the transitioning? So June, obviously, you graduated from Chimicum. Of course, you're going to be starting a new career, going to Florida. Can you walk us through the process of how it was?
So I got shipped out the 24th of June to MCRD San Diego. I got there and it kind of hits everybody. It's like that moment of shock. You know what I mean? What am I doing? But I ended up sticking with it. I got through the training. It was pretty hard, but yeah,
What
it
was the hardest
wasn't.
part of the training?
I mean, honestly, for me, the hardest part was probably having very limited contact with my family. Only being able to contact them by mail. That was probably the most difficult part.
How was the experience meeting new people? So people you've never been with before, you're with them through the process. How was that?
It was honestly pretty cool. We're all here at the end of the day. We're all here for the same reason. We come from all different walks of life. It was cool to see um all of that.
in your eyes, what are some of the rewards and challenges of being in the Marines? I mean, it's been only several months, but I'm just wondering in your eyes, like what are some of both rewards and challenges?
Definitely like the pride you feel like carrying that title, I would say is one of the rewards. Um, you get a lot of really cool opportunities. I mean, like I haven't really taken any drawbacks from it yet.
Okay, okay. Now, I imagine though it had to be hard though, because I think you mentioned just having able to lack of contact with family. Was it kind of a strange feeling like, okay, you're missing your friends from Chimicum, everything, just
Yeah,
missing that for a period of time?
it definitely was.
Have you been able to get in contact with some of them?
Yeah, I keep in contact with quite a few of them. Tyler actually recently just graduated boot camp like a couple days ago.
He's in the same. I'm assuming he's around the same area as you. The
Well, right now he's back home. He's on leave, but
Okay.
yeah, I got him to join the Marine Corps with me.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. So I'm wondering, within the Marine Corps, um, I'm assuming there's a lot of challenges physically and mentally as well. Besides the obvious, the family, but I mean, I'm assuming there's physical challenges, correct?
Oh yeah. They
Uh, can,
definitely
can,
push you to your limits.
can you describe a little bit of like how, like, a day in the life of the boot camp, like what it was, what they had you do?
Um, so I mean, like we'd get up, they'd count us down. So like every single movement we do, like we get counted down for it, and like super fast. Um, so we get up, we get dressed, we make our beds. They march us to chow or breakfast, and then they have like a set schedule that they follow through. So like there's this if you mess up, there's this thing they call IT or incentive training. Basically, they take you outside and they throw you in the sand pit, and like you're sitting there doing like push-ups, crunches, and like mountain climbers, stuff like that. It's like really high intensity uh stuff they have you do.
How often did you have to go through IT for you?
Well, me personally, I didn't get IT'd that much, but there was
Okay.
definitely a lot of other kids that got IT'd a lot because like they were like the mess ups of the group.
That I was going to ask you about that. Was that challenging? I don't want to call it mess ups when you encountered mess ups, or what was your perspective when you encountered the mess ups? I hate to call them mess ups, but yeah, those who maybe weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing.
Well, I mean, like you gotta try to help them out because like um eventually it could lead to the whole like platoon getting messed up. Uh, because like there was this one time I remember we were at the Weapons Field Training Battalion at Camp Pendleton, and there was a guy who lost one of his MREs, and so the drill instructor was like, "Yeah, you want to lose your MRE? All right, count every single one." So we got 5 MREs for the Crucible. We had to put them on top of our footlockers and then lift up our footlockers and hold them until he counted every single one. So it was like 104 of us, and we each had 5 MREs, and then they kept making him restart because he wasn't screaming. So that was fun.
I can only imagine that had
And
to
the
be.
fo-
Go
and the
ahead.
foot lockers weigh like with the contents in them like 70, 80 pounds probably.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
It's a lot of little stuff like that. They get their discipline, that's for sure.
One thing I was also wondering too is when you're having those set drills, I'm assuming you also had a time hack, correct? Like everything had to be done within a certain time. Am I
Yeah.
correct? I'm assuming that probably goes with meals and showers and getting dressed as well.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, after like we got our Eagle Globe and anchors, they started to treat us a little bit better. But like before that, no, basically everything like is counted down.
How much time did you guys have to take to shower and get dressed in general?
Uh, that's if we got time to shower and get dressed sometimes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they'd
Jeez.
start. So at the very beginning, they'd count down from like 1,000, and that's all the time you had to shower and shave, brush your teeth, and like get squared away. They count down super fast too. Like you'd have to watch a video on it. I mean, It's nuts.
1,000. Oh,
They go 1,000, and then you have to repeat back 1,000 ISER, and then they just count down insanely fast. It's more like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, the
okay.
actual time. So you have
How
to
about
really hurry up.
how about the meals? I'm curious. Same thing with the meals?
I mean, yeah, sometimes like so since like the platoon guide is the last person to sit down, like sometimes they'll only give him 60 seconds. And then once the guide is done, like everyone has to get up and get out of the chow
I'm
hall.
j- I'm just visualizing with eating the meals. You guys, I'm assuming you probably don't even have time to talk. You're just eating. You're just eating as
No,
quick as you can.
if you talk, they send you out of the chow hall.
Ooh, without the food, without
Yeah.
your food.
Yeah, you can't. It's a lot of. So they're pretty strict. Like you can't. So you have to be done with your food like before you get up. You can't like stand up and still be chewing.
Oh
If that
wow.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm visualizing it. I'm
It's
visualizing
like
in my
did I?
mind.
You're like, who said you could chew your food while walking? They're like, spit it out.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Jeez. I'm curious, did anyone in the platoon you mentioned going through, did anyone I'm thinking about when they weed out the people, did anyone drop out
There
because
was
it was too much?
we dropped maybe like 10 to 15 people from our platoon.
Was that a hard experience when they dropped out, or did just you already knew like, ah, this ain't gonna work?
I already you could kind of see from the get go like who like the more mentally weak ones are,
Hmm.
and the ones that just like don't get it. They just don't figure it out, and then they get dropped.
Now I remember back then, even as you said early on this episode, that this was something you wanted to do. You know, this joining the military. My question is, was this something that you were anticipating? Like, were you anticipating this was going to be like this?
In boot camp, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, 100%.
So it was kind of no surprise for you. It's like, okay, yeah,
Well,
this
I
is what
mean,
this is what
like
to
the
expect.
first couple of days, like it was a little bit of a shock, but not. I got used to it pretty fast.
I'm just trying to envision after graduating. I'm just imagining when you graduated, did you have the thoughts like, well, things are going to be a lot different from here?
Yeah, I mean, the title was pretty important to me, so that was one of my big motivators getting through boot camp. This was something I really wanted, and I feel like I wanted it a lot more than other people. So that helped me push through a lot.
Well, I would imagine that's important though with motivation. When you want something really bad, you're going to do everything you can to go for it,
Yeah,
to
well, I
get it.
mean, especially in the Marine Corps, you can't just have motivation. You have to have like discipline to be able to do the right thing.
Would it be fair to say a little bit of discipline and maybe a little bit of heart as well?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So Adrian, I'm wondering your goals. Like, what are your so obviously you're going through the process right now. What are your future goals and aspirations? Like, what are you hoping to do eventually?
So I'm planning on staying in for a little bit, probably more than one contract. Uh, I was like really inspired to be by one of my drill instructors to follow the same path. So I might, if I reenlist, I might put in that package to request to become a drill instructor. If not, then I was planning on using the GI Bill and then going to the NASCAR Technical Institute over in North Carolina, be an engine technician because like cars is something I've been into since I was a little kid.
I remember that from episode 10 when we
Hmm.
talked a lot about cars. Now, are you thinking with the Marines putting in 4 years, 8 years? Like, how many years are you hoping to put in total?
I think if I do another reenlistment, probably like 10 to 15.
Okay.
Because I mean, if I'm in that long, I might just stay in 20 years. Who knows? But I'm just gonna see how it goes. I'm enjoying it so far. So
That's good. That's good. Now, how much leave time do you actually have? Like, do you have leave time for a few weeks, a week or two, or
for right now, I'm at only 2.5 days because what they don't tell you in boot camp is so you get 10 days of leave, right?
okay,
Uh,
okay,
but during boot camp, so you get 2.5 days every month, You're only in boot camp for 3 months, so that adds up to 7.5 days. So then once you finish your 10 days of leave, it puts you in the negative 2.5. So right now
What does that mean?
so you're in negative 2.5 days in leave because they give you 10 for
Okay.
boot camp leave. And so right now I've been out of boot camp for about 2 months. So I have 2.5 days because I went back to 0 and then now I have 2.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you plan on visiting home for leave time or any
Yeah.
thoughts with that?
I should actually be able to come home for Christmas for recruiter's assistance, so it doesn't count as leave. And then, yeah, be home for like 2 weeks, hopefully.
Okay. I know you mentioned one of the things open to do is maybe recruit others. Are you thinking possibly back at home, back in Chimicum, recruit future students, or just Washington State, or just generally?
It would probably be helpful like if I just Chimicum students because I already know a lot of them there. I already know a
Mm-hmm.
couple that are interested in the military and like seeing like the things that I've done so far in my career. Um, I feel like I've definitely inspired a couple people to join.
That's good. I mean, I'd envision they saw what you've accomplished or they see what you're doing, and you already told me about one other student that's already kind of started already.
Yeah, yeah, he's
So
home.
Tyler.
He's home on his leave right now.
Oh wow, wow. Setting the example. I'm assuming other people. Who else? I mean, just I would imagine Tyler is one of them, but I'm sure there are several more.
Yeah, I was talking to a couple seniors when I was here over my leave, and there's a couple that are definitely interested. Can't say for
Uh huh.
sure, but like for me, it doesn't count. Like it only counts like if they actually enlist, because like the way it works is like if you get two names or
Hmm.
two enlistments under your name, you get a promotion out of it.
Well, that's a little bit of a motivator.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so here's a question, Adrian. So whether it's the students who are listening to this or other people, what piece of advice would you give to them who are wanting to join the military or the Marines? What would you tell them?
Definitely try to build like a mental callus. Because like you're gonna go through some pretty hard stuff, like no matter what branch. Uh, that try to work out as much as you can before, so you're not like the worst one in the platoon. Um, just be a good person too. I mean, that's all it really takes. I mean, as long as you have heart and you're willing to put in the effort, you have discipline, like you'll make it far.
Sounds like character is important. Character is
Oh
very
yeah, it
important.
definitely is.
Okay. Well, hey, we're almost at the close of the interview, and one thing, of course, that we did last time, I was hoping to do again, was the word association. And so, again, I'm gonna say maybe one or two words, maybe three words, and tell me the first thing that comes to mind. Tell me the
Okay.
first thing that comes to your mind. Now, my position still hasn't changed from the last time we did this. I still hate pickles. What are the things that come to mind when you hear pickles?
Pickles, probably a burger.
Okay. Let me see another thing. How about bad hygiene?
Bad hygiene, probably somebody who doesn't brush their teeth.
Okay. Laziness.
Laziness, well, there's a few things, but probably like somebody that just sits on the couch all day, does nothing, you know? Like being in the military, like you realize like how much like time in the day you have to do things. And like 'cause I used to be pretty lazy myself, I won't lie. But like definitely like even in boot camp, like you realize like how much you can get done in a day. Like it's kind of crazy, honestly.
Okay. Let's see. Rap music.
Rap music, uh, probably Little Baby.
Okay. Country music.
Country music, Zach Bryan because I don't know anybody else. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. All right. No worries. No worries. How about horror movies?
Horror movies. Oh, that's a good one. The Conjuring.
Hmm.
That's a good movie.
That's good. So I'll flip it on the other side. How about romantic movies?
Um, I don't know. I don't really watch too many of those.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
can't think one on the top of my head.
All right. How about video games?
Video games, definitely Need for Speed. I play that a lot.
Okay. Boxing.
Boxing, Canelo Alvarez.
Okay. Yoga.
Uh, the freaking what's it called? What's that one?
Downward dog.
The downward no, the Superman or something. I don't know what it's called. I don't do
Superman
yoga.
position.
Yeah,
Ah, that's okay. How about politics?
politics. I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of stuff about politics lately. Everybody's kind of divided. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we did have
Like,
a new election recently
yeah. I
over
mean, to
last
me,
week.
like politics. Like, I don't care. What other people um, like what their beliefs are, but I just feel like a lot of people. What am I trying to say? They take it to heart. You know what I mean? And then it causes a lot of divide between people, division.
Definitely do.
Yeah.
Okay, so just a few more questions, two more questions. So, just like I referenced a few times that last time I interviewed was episode 10, which was May 2023. You're finishing up your junior year.
hmm
My question is, what would the Adrian Garcia of now, what would you tell yourself back then? If you had a time capsule, what would you tell yourself back then? From 2 years ago.
I would tell him this is the only option
Okay.
because I I don't regret joining the military. Like, it's something I've always wanted to do. Like, I didn't want to, sit at home and just wait for something to happen. You know what I mean? I wanted to go out there and get things done. So that's a big thing I would say is just go for it, get it done. Just like, why wait? You know what I mean?
Awesome, awesome. And then the last question I have is, um, any final things you have to tell our listeners?
Can you repeat that one more time?
Oh, sure. The last thing I was going to say is, what final words would you have for our listeners to close out the episode?
Definitely. What am I trying to say? Just stay true to yourself. Do what you really want to do. I mean, I can't really convince anybody to do anything because everybody does their own thing. Um, but yeah, no, just keep your head up. Like, try to be, um, try to go out there, like, live your life. Because there's a lot of people that they kind of don't really know what to do, but it's pretty cool to just go out and try things, and then maybe you'll find something you want to do. That's kind of how I look at it.
And that's awesome. Well, hey, Adrian, today's Veterans Day. Again, I know you just joined the Marines, but still, I still want to thank you for your service. Thank
hmm
you, and congratulations. And also, hey, thank you so much for doing this interview, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for reaching out.
All right, man. Best of luck with things.
I appreciate it.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, you too.
And that concludes this edition of Conversations with Mr. A with Adrian Garcia. So I'm just going to say I was really proud, super, super proud of Adrian. He's come a long ways. We did this episode back in episode 10, back in May 2023, as I said earlier. And so actually, he's the first Chimicum student that I've talked to since that I've done an interview with since leaving. And so I was really excited to do this episode. And so Adrian, all I can say is best of luck. I'm excited for you. Congratulations. And best of luck to your future endeavors in the Marines. Thank you for listening, everybody. More episodes to come.